Good evening and welcome to the Orange County School Board's regularly scheduled meeting this Tuesday, January 26, 2021. Thank you everyone so much for being here tonight. All board members are present in the chambers. It's good to have a full house. And before we begin the meeting, we always start our meetings with a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance. Let me call on our Vice Chair, Pledge of Allegiance. Let me call on our Vice Chair Gould, to lead us in both.
Please stand and bow your heads for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get started with our business portion of the meeting, let me remind the public that board members will not be checking their cell phones or their devices for emails. So if you wish to reach out to one of us, the time to do that would be before or after the meetings. Thank you. In 2016, a study of American perceptions and attitudes towards arts, we found that the majority believed that arts play a vital role in personal well-being and healthier communities, and the arts are core to the well-rounded education of our students. Research has proven that exposure to various forms of creative expression helps build academic skills, character, critical thinking, and problem-solving abilities in our students. Also happens to make them happier, I think. Not only can students learn about the arts, they can learn through the arts. Tonight, we honor 6 employees who recently received awards at this year's Florida's Music Education Association virtual conference for their commitment to arts education in the state. To share more about these recognitions is our own Scott Evans, Senior Director of OCPS Visual and Performing Arts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm truly excited to share in recognizing these outstanding individuals who have and continue to shine in the field of music education. The Florida Music Education Association is a not-for-profit professional association that promotes music education across our state. During the association's annual conference, awards are presented to educators and administrators for their contributions to music education. At this year's virtual conference, 6 OCPS employees were honored. Dr. Kelly Paduano, Timber Creek High School Principal; Evan Powers, Avalon Middle Choral Director; Brian Sullivan, Glenridge Middle Band Director; Angela Paginson, Timber Springs Middle School Band Director; Mario Ford, Evans High School Band Director; and Ken Williams, otherwise known as Ken Boyd, from West Orange High Band Director. Florida Music Education Association awards go to Dr. Kelly Paduano, Principal of Timber Creek High School, in the FMEA 2021 Administrator of the Year Award recipient. This award is given to a school administrator who is not a professional music educator but displays ardent support of school music programs. Over the years, Dr. Paduano has been recognized for taking music education to unprecedented levels and is lauded for expanding her school's performing arts department and its arts education program offerings for all students. Dr. Paduano holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Social Science Education and a Master's and Doctorate degree in Educational Leadership from University of Central Florida. She is the FMEA 2021 Administrator of the Year Award recipient. Dr. Paduano. For the past 7 years, Evan Powers has served as choral director at Avalon Middle and is a recipient of the FMEA 2021 Exemplary Model Project Award for his project, Songbird. The purpose of this project is to connect 7th and 8th grade students with elders living with dementia. Following the completion of a 4-week training program, students are partnered with an assisted living facility resident to learn about the types of music they enjoy. On a future visit, students learn and share the music with the seniors. Through Mr. Powers' efforts, the love of music has been shared across generations. Mr. Powers received his bachelor's degree from Florida State University in choral music education. If you haven't had a chance to listen to his NPR interview just this past week, please take a moment to do so. It's absolutely fabulous to listen to him in his own words describe this absolutely beautiful project. Evan Powers, the FMEA 2021 Exemplary Model Project Award recipient. The Florida Bandmasters Association Award recipients include some quite outstanding band directors. The Florida Bandmasters Association Linda Mann Award is presented to junior high or middle school band directors who earned superior ratings at the Florida Band Association District Concert Music Performance Assessments for 5 consecutive years. The 2020 recipients are Brian Sullivan and Angela Paginson. Mr. Sullivan has served as the director of bands of Glenridge Middle School for the past 16 years. Prior to this, he served another 24 years in other counties and at the University of Central Florida, Florida State University, and Gulf Coast Community College, respectively. Now in his 40th year as a full-time music teacher, he is proud to have earned superior ratings for 15 years, resulting in 3 consecutive wins of the Linda Mann Award. Mr. Sullivan earned his Bachelor in Music Education from the University of Florida and Master's degree from Florida State University. Mr. Brian Sullivan. Mrs. Paginson is the Director of Bands for Timber Springs Middle School. Her 9-year career with the district includes 5 years serving as band director at Lakeview Middle and 4 years with her current school, Timber Springs. As a young teacher, it is truly remarkable to have earned superiors at music assessments 5 years in a row. She received her bachelor's degree from the University of Central Florida in music education. Mrs. Angela Paginson. Mario Ford is the director of bands at Evans High School, where he received the Florida Bandmasters Association Tom Bishop Award. This award recognizes FBA members who revitalize a band program in a short period of time, as Mr. Ford has done with the Green Machine. Mr. Ford earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in music education from Bethune-Cookman University and has served as Evans's band director since 2017. Prior to this role, he led other band programs throughout the district, including Olympia and Edgewater High School and Meadowbrook Middle School. We are very proud of Mr. Ford's accomplishments and so looking forward to seeing all that he does at his next, in his next years as a band director. Mario Ford. Our final honoree tonight is someone you all know and everyone recognizes, Mr. Ken Boyd from West Orange High School. He is the West Orange High School Director of Bands and Orchestras for 14 years. This 2017-18 OCPS Teacher of the Year finalist and University of Central Florida alum received the Oliver Hobbs Award, which is one of the highest awards in the field of band programs. This award celebrates Florida band directors with at least 15 years of service who earn superior ratings at concert and marching MPAs and render service to the profession in a leadership role or on a committee. Now in his 23rd year of service with the district, Mr. Boyd is honored to have all served as band director at Memorial Middle and University and Olympia High Schools. As you can tell from the honorees, I want to make sure first we recognize Mr. Ken Boyd for his outstanding work. And if we could have all the honorees stand, please. And as you tell from these honorees, OCPS employees continue to set the bar high for arts education across our state. Congratulations to all of you.
Scott, thank you. On behalf of the board, we are so proud of each of you, but we are more grateful than we are proud. The impact that you make on the lives of our students is immeasurable, and we are blessed to have you as a part of the team. So I was certain I was going to hear from one member of our board who is probably the most passionate when it comes to arts, and nope, 2, and that would be, let me start with Vice Chair Gould.
Well, this is a stellar crowd to be among. Thank you for your leadership, for sharing your and dedicating your talents to the next generation and lifting them up. Whether our students decide to pursue their art of choice or they decide to go on a different career path, you are giving them the skills and the character building that will take them through life, make them resilient, and also open their mind to communication and love and peace and joy that they find through the arts in a way that nothing else really opens up the heart and mind in that similar way. For those of us who get to enjoy it when we sit in the audience or walk through a museum, or when we do it, no matter how well or how bad we do it. So thank you for sharing those talents and being such exemplary leaders.
If only the most beautiful songbird sang, think how quiet the forest would be. I remember that being in my children's art or music teacher's classroom, and I thought, wow, that was liberating for somebody like me who can't sing. Member Lopez, and then Member Felder.
Well, I just want to brag about my schools as well. So Timber Spring, Avalon Middle School, and Timber Creek High School. When I visited, and I have different experiences with all of them. So when I visited Avalon Middle School, I remember in the morning before school started, I saw Mr. Evan with a group of females singing a song to empower them. And it was pretty cool because, it's before school, but it's a huge group of students, and you can see his passion when he was interacting with the children, with the females. It was amazing, and that experience, I still have your song in my office, so thank you so much. I didn't recognize you because of the mask, and I'm kind of blind, so thank you so much for your commitment. And also, I remember when I visited Timber Spring Middle School, it was before school started. Here's the principal as well, so I went into the classroom of Angela. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. And I remember you were very focused, and you can see the students before school start. Huge classroom, packed, everybody very focused. I was there with the principal. Nobody said anything, but you can see the professionalism and the commitment and the passion as well in Timber Spring Middle School. And also I have to talk about Dr. Paduano. The families love Dr. Paduano. The community love Dr. Paduano. If they have to say something in any email, this is not about Dr. Paduano. We love Dr. Paduano. It's about the building or something, but not about Dr. Paduano. So, I know Dr. Paduano not only as an administrator, but also because my daughter is going to Timber Creek High School, and I can see, that she cares a lot. She's always there. And I remember going to an orchestra performance, and she was there supporting the student, but she was also very into the basketball game as well. Oh my God, this is the score. So, she's there at every single place. You can see her passion as well, and I can see the community that they feed each other. So you can see when everybody go to Timber Creek High School, you can see the difference in the administration, the families, how united they are, how engaged they are. So I am very pleased to be your school board member as well, and thank you for all you do. Thank you for your commitment.
Thank you, Member Lopez. Member Felder.
Yes, thank you. Nikki Giovanni once said, if music is communication, think of me as one whole note. I am so proud of what you are doing. I was a theater major, but I also played in the band. I played clarinet, B-flat clarinet, French horn, piano, organ, and French horn and harp. So I was a music person, but I was a theater major. And it does my heart good that this district, my district, would recognize the need for the arts in public education, because it's been a struggle across the country for people to recognize that arts education is so very, very important. And when the young gentleman that did the Songbird, playing to elderly people in the nursing homes, I just wish I could have just seen and experienced that. I know it was wonderful. And I just want to thank you for your innovative activities and how you still don't give up. In the midst of this madness called COVID-19, the art still reigns supreme. So I want to thank you all for all that you're doing. Thank you.
Member Gallo.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Member Felder's hard to go after. I don't know that anybody can be as eloquent as she is, but I did want to say thank you to all the recipients tonight. It's so well deserved. And in light of everything that we've been through, it makes me happy. I have to say thank you to Glenridge Middle. I've had the opportunity to sit and talk to Mr. Sullivan for a while, and I've been in his classroom as well, and I know how passionate he is about his music and his students. So congratulations, it's very well deserved. Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gallo. Member Covert.
Thank you. I just want to thank all of you educators, not as a school board member, but as a mom, as a parent whose one family has been so impacted by the work that you all do as music educators. When I grew up, I didn't participate in the band or any of that simply because we couldn't afford it, and we don't let that happen here in Orange County. I have 3 children, all who play. One of them plays like 9 different instruments. They learn to read music and to play those instruments in Orange County Public Schools. And my daughter, who's 14, that music, she's not necessarily a performer, but it simply brings her joy. If she's upset, she goes and sits down and plays. If she's happy, she goes and sits down and plays. And when I hear her friends come over, and I'll hear coming out of her room 3 girls playing guitar, and it is so beautiful. And they learn that because of the opportunities here and because of what you do, the profession that you chose. It's had such an impact on my family and obviously thousands of other families. And I just want to say thank you for choosing what you do.
Dr. Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wouldn't let an opportunity pass without adding my thanks, my commendations. First, for an administrator to be recognized in music education is phenomenal, but I know any music educator who has an outstanding program has support from their administration as well. I see a couple of principals here, so want to acknowledge that. For music educators, here's what I want to say. Number one, you don't just invest in the talent of our young people. It is very clear to me that for the hours and hours that you have to invest in performances, that you are investing in their character as well. And so just as we acknowledge the hours spent far beyond what we can pay you for in athletics, the same exact thing is true in our fine arts programs. And I know your investment is beyond just coaching their talent. And so I want to thank you for investing in the lives of our young people and for all that you mean to your school and to those children, those students, and their futures. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Well, before we release you all, I didn't want to single anybody out, but since a few of you have, Mr. Bowers, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for recognizing the positive power of music on our seniors. My father passed away of Alzheimer's about 10 years ago, and it was in the final 2 years that I discovered how powerful music was for him when he had lost most of his ability to communicate. But you could play music and his foot would get tapping, and at times he would literally sing along even when he couldn't barely speak to us. And so when I understood how you put that together with the incredible synergy between our youth and our elderly. Member Castor Dentel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I can't go without remarking about one of the schools that I represent, that's Evans High School, and I see the principal there, and I appreciate your commitment to the arts as well and to supporting your faculty. As I've looked around the district and I've looked at schools outside of Orange County schools and in our charter schools and our private schools, there really is no comparison when it comes to the richness of the arts that we provide our students and that you all devote your lives to. And I appreciate that. And I sometimes think that the O in OCPS should stand for opportunities. We have so many in Orange County Public Schools, and I appreciate your commitment and your devotion and your excellence, and what you're doing for our children. So thank you very much.
All right, in the midst of difficult times during this pandemic, it has sure been a joy to have this opportunity to celebrate each one of you and everything that you're doing to change the lives of our next generation. So God bless. You don't have to stay with us the rest of the night. You're welcome to if you want, but you can be excused if you want. Thank you. All right, tonight we are celebrating and proclaiming a number of proclamations. We're going to begin with proclaiming February 2021 as Career and Technical Education Month here in Orange County Public Schools. And next, we're proclaiming February 2021 as Black History Month in Orange County Public Schools. And for the reading of that proclamation, I'm going to call on Member Felder.
Thank you, Chairman. Proclamation. Okay. Black History Month. Whereas February has been nationally designated since 1976 as a time to recognize and celebrate the contributions of Americans of African and Caribbean descent to our nation's culture and history. And whereas the celebration began in 1915 and was expanded from Negro History Week, the creation of historian Carter G. Woodson and other noted African Americans to promote the achievements of Black Americans and other people of African descent. And whereas Orange County Public Schools counts 206,000 students among its rich tapestry, with 1/4 of them being Black or of Caribbean heritage. And whereas in educating the children in this public K-12 system, it is appropriate that all children learn about, reflect upon, and cherish the contributions that citizens of African and Caribbean descent, both past and present, have made to our nation in the realms of the arts, business, civil rights, education, entertainment, military, music, law, literature, politics, religion, science, and much, much more. And whereas Orange County Public Schools offer myriad opportunities for students to commemorate and appreciate these contributions, especially through live musical and dramatic performances, lectures by local and visiting writers, displays and film presentations offered by our libraries, public and cable television broadcasts, and local museums. And whereas Orange County Public Schools also has several of its schools named after African Americans who've made a lasting impression on our local and national communities, being Dr. Cecil L. Eccleston, scientist George Washington Carver, principals L.C. Jones and William S. Maxey, and poet Phyllis Wheatley. And whereas the individual and collective impact of Americans of African and Caribbean descent on this nation and world is far too great and expansive to recount here. And whereas in 2001, more than 150 years after slavery was abolished in this nation, our society is still grappling with racial inequality and injustice as we strive toward a more perfect union. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Orange County Public Schools does hereby proclaim February 2021 to be observed and celebrated in our schools as Black History Month. Chairperson Teresa Jacobs, Orange County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Barbara Jenkins. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Felder. Excellent, excellent. And our next proclamation is February 1st through the 15th as National Counseling Week in Orange County Public Schools. We are also proclaiming February 5th, 2021 as School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day here in Orange County Public Schools. And with that, let me call on the school board's auditor, Linda Lindsay, if she would come forward and introduce for the board our chair of our Audit Advisory Committee. Pardon me?
Internal auditors, and she has graciously joined our team and volunteers along with other members of the Audit Advisory Committee to assist the school board in its oversight of our audit function.
Thank you.
Here's Debbie.
Ms. Roth, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for the contribution you make every day, but especially taking on this important leadership role of chair.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. It's good to be here tonight, and it was nice to see the recognition going to the arts, so I'm glad I was here to share in that celebration. So for Internal Audit has a mission. This is the mission from the Institute of Internal Auditors, of which I am on the part of the leadership there as well. The mission is to enhance and protect organizational value by providing risk-based and objective assurance, advice, and insight, something that is our mission for all auditors around the world. All auditors are required to follow the Code of Ethics. This is mandatory for all members, of which the internal audit team of Orange County Public Schools are all members. Thank you. Internal auditors are expected to apply and uphold the following principles: integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, and competency. Our Audit Advisory Committee, we operate in accordance with the charter that is approved by this school board. We oversee all of the audit functions of OCPS, and we provide that required independence of the internal audit function to report to a body that is truly independent. Our responsibilities include reviewing the plans and activities, staff, and organizational structure of the internal audit department here at OCPS. We ensure that there are no restrictions to the work that internal audit provides to the organization. And we review and concur in the appointment, replacement, or dismissal of the school board internal auditor. Additional responsibilities include reviewing the effectiveness of the internal and external audit functions, and we report annually to the school board, of which this constitutes our annual meeting to the school board. Our committee members, we have a diverse background. I am a CPA and CIA and the committee chair, and I am Managing Director of Curriculum Strategy for Internal Auditors at the IIA. Dan Williams is a CPA. He is a retired Senior Vice President of Internal Audit for Darden Restaurants. Scott Funston is a CPA. He is Vice President of Finance for Disney Parks, Experience and Products. Kay Redlick is our IT expert. She is a Chief Technology Officer with CNL Financial Group. And Tammy Campbell, who is a CPA and partner at McDermott, Davis & Company CPAs. We also have two ex officio members, that is Madam Chair, Teresa Jacobs, and our General Counsel, Amy Emball, both of which were present at our Audit Committee meeting this morning and actively participating. And we were pleased to see Superintendent Jenkins, as Dr. Jenkins stepped down to say hello at the end of our meeting, which was a pleasant surprise. Our 2020 activities of the Audit Committee, we reviewed and approved the entity-wide risk assessment process and those results, and we recommended that for school board approval of our annual audit plan that Linda administers through the Internal Audit Department. We established the expectations with external auditors at the beginning of the process, and we discussed the results at the completion of the audit completed by the external auditors. We also conducted the performance appraisal for the school board internal auditor. We monitor the internal audit department performance against their annual plan. We perform a committee self-assessment, and we review the charters of the committee as well as the internal audit department charter. We also meet annually with the CIO to discuss IT security related issues. Some key points, internal audit is an independent function via the reporting relationship to the school board through the audit committee. Our annual plan is being, our key point is that we are completing that annual plan even with the temporary setback with COVID. The audit committee actively oversees the audit function, and we maintain a focus on continuous review of risk. Our objectives have been met for the audit committee and the internal audit departments. We make sure we are monitoring for that. To give you an idea of some best practices, the CGCS white paper titled Internal Auditing in Great City Schools provides a list of recommendations that all school systems should have in place. This list, as you can see by those check marks, everything is in place for the Orange County Public Schools, something that is very valuable to be able to say you meet the best practices alignment. And that is something that we have consistently accomplished through Orange County Public Schools' value and importance of internal audit. The internal audit team, they have a senior director and 6 professional staff members. And as you can see, all the staff have various certifications. So you have 2 CPAs, 2 CIAs, Certified Government Accounting Professional, the CGAP, 1 CRMA, and 1 which is the Certified in Risk Management Assurance, and 1 CISA, which is Certified Information Systems Auditor. This is a well-rounded proficiency for a team of internal audit covering the significant areas of risk that are covered throughout the year. Little extra on COVID-19 considerations. The internal audit team worked remotely for 3 months without any loss of productivity. This is a testament to the work of the internal audit team, but also to individuals all around Orange County Public Schools who were actively engaged in the audits, continuing to participate through the difficulties of working remote and maybe not having access to everything they need. So for that, we thank them for their participation in everything they have done throughout these unprecedented times. They are focused on risks associated with that new work environment, so as they are conducting audits, there are new risks to consider that were probably not on anyone's radar a year ago. Considering those impacts on the control processes and understanding that there are temporary procedures and workarounds, and making sure that they monitor those and ensure that they are still meeting the needs of controlling the risk. And also they consider COVID-19 related risks that are new and may need to be considered in the annual audit plan and possibly updates to audits that are being conducted. One thing to note is we do track open audit recommendations. This is valuable for management and for the board to understand. There are times where findings take a while to go through the process and work. This is being actively monitored and reviewed. The first chart is the findings that remain open based on age in the months since as of December 31st, 2020. There were 105 findings from 27 engagements. Of that, 33 of those findings are over 1 year old. We do track that to ensure that our findings are receiving traction. Those are monitored, and some of those are things that will take longer to complete, but that we do monitor to make sure traction is being made until resolution and ensure that those are eventually resolved. A benchmarking chart here, this is based on other school districts in Florida. As you can see that Orange County, when you compare it to the number of auditors per 100 million of the general fund budget, it's 0.31. They run a lean, mean operating machine here, and they are very effectively using Orange County Public Schools resources. So that is my report, and I'm open to any questions you may have.
Well, thank you so much. Let me point out that they are not only effectively using the resources of Orange County Public Schools, they're also effectively using the resources of the incredible team of experts on the committee. We are so very fortunate. I mean, when you ran through the qualifications, I just think it's important for the public to know the level of support and the level of expertise that we have, just 100% volunteering their time with their backgrounds that they have, gives me a great deal of confidence that I wouldn't otherwise have. And we're also one of the few counties that has an independent, well, not so much anymore because the legislature has certainly encouraged this, but one of the few school districts where the auditor reports directly to the school district, giving that level of independence, which I think is also the checks and balances that's so important. So I wanted to commend Ms. Roth, but also want to commend Ms. Lindsay for the phenomenal job that she does and the peace of mind that I know she brings to me and to all the board members. With that, I'm going to let you go for the evening, but thank you so much
Wonderful.
for being here with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Lindsay, thank you. Dr. Jenkins, do we have any administrator appointments to recognize tonight?
We have one, Madam Chair, members of the board, that is Dwight Jermaine Hutchinson. This is announcement only, not in the room. Resource teacher with the Minority Achievement Office will be the new assistant principal at Freedom High School.
Thank you. Next for our agenda, Dr. Jenkins, are there any changes to the agenda?
There is one change, Madam Chair, members of the board. In item 6.02, we are removing one student, initials MW, from the matrix and creating non-consent item 1701, as the parent is here to speak.
Thank you. The chair finds cause to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda as requested by the superintendent?
So moved.
I'm so sorry. Who did I hear that from? Oh, Member Colbert. I'm sorry. I was in my left somewhere. Motion by Member Colbert, seconded by Member Lopez. All in favor of the motion to amend, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Let me ask if there are any members of the public who wish to comment on anything that is on the consent agenda before we consider action on the consent agenda. Any members of the public? Ms.
Madam
Hannibal,
Chair,
do
we
you-
do not have any members of the public that are here in person, nor do we have any callers on the
Okay.
line.
All right, in light of that, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a
So moved.
motion? So moved by Member Lopez, seconded. Is there a
Second.
second? Second by, thank you, Member Byrd. Okay, we're spending too much time together. All y'all are sounding very similar. Member Byrd seconded. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve the consent agenda. We are now on item 1701, which has been removed from the consent agenda. And let me ask Dr. Jenkins for your advice as to, we do have a parent who wishes to speak to the issue. We do want to make sure that this is not televised. Do we want to hear from the parent first, or do you want to give the board an update on the
Thank
issue?
you, Madam Chair. We'll hear from staff first, followed by parent, and we have given instruction this part is not to be streamed or televised.
Thank you. Wanted to make sure we gave adequate opportunity to make sure that we were not live streaming it.
We are so pleased. I tell you, in a year of COVID-19, there are just so many opportunities that we have missed, both for our students and for our employees. And so if members of the public and our employees and anyone else who is interested would tune in on Wednesday, January 27th at 7 p.m., there will be a virtual show, and it can be accessed from the OCPS.net homepage. Now, when we say toy, spoy, poi, and apoi, I'm going to interpret that for you since I have time. So Teacher of the Year, Support Person of the Year, Principal of the Year, and Assistant Principal of the Year. Here's a unique thing about how we have to manufacture this in a COVID environment. So that means we had a total of 16 individuals who are finalists in each of those 4 categories, 16 total, 4 in each category. And so I was talking to Mr. Thomas, and he said they actually had to have all 16 record an acceptance speech, just in case they're the winner, because nobody knows until tomorrow who the winner is. Once the winner is determined, and of course they're only going to play the one acceptance speech for each category, so there will be 4 acceptance speeches. But here's a phenomenal thing. We are actually recognizing 464 honorees from across the district in all of those categories. Phenomenal employees being recognized as they represent the sheer excellence of our team, 24,000 strong. I would also submit that our judges, former Teachers of the Year, and staff members and community members that played the role of judging had a really tough job as well. But on tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we sent out boxes to all of those being recognized to make sure they had an opportunity to be celebrated at home amongst loved ones. And they will certainly only open those boxes when we say so during the broadcast, and we will make every effort to make them feel just as special through this virtual recognition. Do not miss the OCPS Stellar Awards for 2021. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. I was going to call on Ms. Enval, who has unfortunately stepped away for just a moment. She'll be right back. Ms. Enval.
I was just going to reiterate, just let you know that Associate General Counsel John Promerini presented at FEN last week on employment law, and he will be presenting this Friday for those who are taking the education law certification exam for the Florida Bar.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have to report.
Excellent, thank you. And we have no committee reports. We now have in front of the board the document that Ms. Wilson asked us to read, but we'll just take a moment to read it. Thank you.
wanted to make a comment on, what happened, at the 4:30 when they made a suggestion about the history. Do we talk about that now, or we wait?
I'm sorry, refresh my memory.
The first speaker, Madam Chair, was talking about the history of the Ocoee massacre, and we'll have staff be in touch with him. He offered his expertise in making sure we had resources available. We'll have staff get in touch with him. We have his information.
Okay, and I wanted one more. I don't know whether we know it or not, but Chief Wilson, PBS.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, not on the mic. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Chief, the late Chief James Wilson in the PBS documentary about his relationship with the band director at Edgewater. And they, so I just didn't know if the board knew that was coming on in PBS in February.
No,
I'm
we
excited.
didn't.
It's coming on in February. They had a unique relationship, and the reason why I think it's wonderful because it was during the height of segregation, and the Edgewater band director was very brave to make the decision to let both bands went to the World's Fair, but the fact that they, aside from the segregation and Jim Crow laws, they defied that and became friends, and the students on both sides, they were able to take pictures together. I mean, it's a beautiful story, and I just wanted to make sure that we knew about it. It's going to be on PBS in February.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. You know, it's good to know that throughout history and even our darkest times, humanity still existed in some of us.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. Thank you so much. All right, with no further business to come before the board, this meeting is now adjourned.